Canadian Citizenship Test. Chapter 3. Canada's History. Part 2. Question 1. When did the first movement to abolish the transatlantic slave trade emerge in the British Parliament? A. Early 1600s. B. Late 1600s. C. Early 1700s. D. Late 1700s. The answer is D. The first movement to abolish the transatlantic slave trade emerged in the British Parliament in the late 1700s. Question 2. Where did slavery exist historically? A. Only in the Americas. B. Only in Africa and Asia. C. In Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and the Americas. D. Only in Europe. The answer is C. Slavery has existed all over the world, from Asia, Africa, and the Middle East to the Americas. Question 3. Which province was the first in the British Empire to move toward abolition? A. Upper Canada. B. Nova Scotia. C. Lower Canada. D. New Brunswick. The answer is A. Upper Canada became the first province in the Empire to move toward abolition. Question 4. Who led Upper Canada in its move toward abolition of slavery? A. Sir Guy Carleton. B. John Graves Simcoe. C. Joseph Brant. D. James Wolfe. The answer is B. Upper Canada, led by Lieutenant Governor John Graves Simcoe, became the first province in the Empire to move toward abolition. Question 5. In what year did the British Parliament prohibit the buying and selling of slaves? A. 1793. B. 1807. C. 1812. D. 1833. The answer is B. In 1807, the British Parliament prohibited the buying and selling of slaves. Question 6. When did the British Empire abolish slavery completely? A. 1807. B. 1820. C. 1833. D. 1865. The answer is C. In 1833, the British Parliament abolished slavery throughout the empire. Question 7. Which country did many escaped slaves flee from to reach Canada? A. France. B. Mexico. C. Brazil. D. The United States. The answer is D. Thousands of slaves escaped from the United States and settled in Canada. Question 8. What was the main industry of the first companies in Canada? A. Fur trade. B. Agriculture. C. Mining. D. Shipbuilding. The answer is A. The first companies in Canada were formed during the French and British regimes and competed for the fur trade. Question 9. What was the name of the company that dominated the fur trade in the Northwest? A. East India Company. B. Canadian Pacific Railway. C. Hudson's Bay Company. D. Northwest Trading Company. The answer is C. The Hudson's Bay Company dominated the fur trade in the Northwest. Question 10. Which groups of people were employed by the Hudson's Bay Company? A. Only British settlers. B. Only French settlers. C. French, British, and Aboriginal people. D. Only Indigenous traders. The answer is C. French, British, and Aboriginal employees were employed by the Hudson's Bay Company. Question 11. Which trading post later became Winnipeg? A. Fort Langley. B. Fort Garry. C. Fort Winnipeg. D. Fort Edmonton. The answer is B. Fort Garry later became Winnipeg. Question 12. In what year did the Montreal Stock Exchange open? A. 1812. B. 1825. C. 1832. D. 1850. The answer is C. The Montreal Stock Exchange opened in 1832. Question 13. How were goods transported in early Canada? A. By air travel. B. By train. C. By underground tunnels. D. By roads, lakes, rivers, and canals. The answer is D. For centuries, Canada's economy was based mainly on farming and on exporting natural resources such as fur, fish, and timber, transported by roads, lakes, rivers, and canals. Question 14. Who was Upper Canada's first Lieutenant Governor? A. Sir Isaac Brock. B. Sir John A. Macdonald. C. Lieutenant Colonel John Graves Simcoe. D. William Lyon Mackenzie. The answer is C. Lieutenant Colonel John Graves Simcoe was Upper Canada's first Lieutenant Governor. Question 15. Which city did John Graves Simcoe found? A. Ottawa. B. Toronto, formerly York. C. Montreal. D. Vancouver. The answer is B. Lieutenant Colonel John Graves Simcoe was founder of the city of York, now Toronto. Question 16. What movement was Mary and Shad Carey involved in? A. The abolition of slavery. B. Women's rights. C. Environmental activism. D. The labor rights movement. The answer is A. Mary and Shad Carey was an outspoken activist in the movement to abolish slavery in the USA. Question 17. What was the name of the newspaper that Mary and Shad Carey helped to found and edit? A. The Canadian Press. B. The Provincial Freeman. C. The Toronto Gazette. D. The Freedom Times. The answer is B. In 1853, Mary and Shad Carey became the first woman publisher in Canada, helping to found and edit the Provincial Freeman. Question 18. When did the United States launch its invasion of Canada? A. 1867. B. 1812. C. 1776. D. 1771. The answer is B. The United States launched an invasion of Canada in June 1812. Question 19. Who supported British soldiers in defending Canada? A. Canadian Volunteers and First Nations. B. The French military. C. The Spanish Navy. D. American Loyalists. The answer is A. Canadian Volunteers and First Nations supported British soldiers in Canada's defense. Question 20. Which First Nations leader played a key role in Canada's defense during the War of 1812? A. Geronimo. B. Pontiac. C. Black Hawk. D. Chief Tecumseh. The answer is D. Chief Tecumseh supported British soldiers in Canada's defense. Question 21. Which First Nations group was led by Chief Tecumseh? A. Iroquois. B. Shawnee. C. Blackfoot. D. Métis. The answer is B. Shawnee, led by Chief Tecumseh, supported British soldiers in Canada's defense. Question 22. Which country did Canada fight alongside during the War of 1812? A. France. B. Spain. C. Britain. D. United States. The answer is C. Canada fought alongside Britain during the War of 1812. Question 23. What did the Americans burn in York, now Toronto, in 1813? A. Fort York. B. Government House and the Parliament Buildings. C. The Royal Palace. D. Halifax Harbor. The answer is B. In 1813, The Americans burned Government House and the Parliament buildings in York, now Toronto. Question 24. Who led the British expedition that burned the White House in 1814? A. Major General Sir Isaac Brock. B. Lieutenant Colonel Charles de Salaberry. C. Major General Robert Ross. D. Admiral Horatio Nelson. The answer is C. In retaliation in 1814, Major General Robert Ross led an expedition from Nova Scotia that burned down the White House and other public buildings in Washington, D.C. Question 25. Where was Major General Robert Ross buried? A. Washington, D.C. B. Ottawa. C. London. D. Halifax. The answer is D. Major General Robert Ross was buried in Halifax with full military honors. Question 26. Why is Laura Secord remembered in Canadian history? A. For founding a Canadian city. B. For warning the British of an American attack. C. For leading British troops in battle. D. For signing a peace treaty. The answer is B. Laura Secord made a dangerous 19-mile journey on foot to warn Lieutenant James Fitzgibbon of a planned American attack. Question 27. Which battle did Laura Secord's warning help the British win? A. The Battle of Beaver Dams. B. The Battle of Fort George. C. The Battle of York. D. The Battle of Queenston Heights. The answer is A. Laura Secord's warning contributed to victory at the Battle of Beaver Dams. Question 28. Where did armed rebellions occur in 1837–38? A. Quebec City and Ottawa. B. Halifax and Vancouver. C. Outside Montreal and in Toronto. D. Winnipeg and Calgary. The answer is C. Armed rebellions occurred in 1837–38 in the area outside Montreal and in Toronto. Question 29. Who defeated the rebels in the 1837–38 rebellions? A. The French Army. B. American forces. C. British troops and Canadian volunteers. D. Indigenous warriors. The answer is C. The rebels were defeated by British troops and Canadian volunteers. Question 30. What happened to some rebels after the uprisings? A. They became leaders of Canada. B. They were given land and rewards. C. They were sent to the United States. D. They were hanged or exiled. The answer is D. A number of rebels were hanged or exiled. Question 31. Who was sent to report on the 1837–38 rebellions in Canada? A. Sir Isaac Brock. B. Lord Durham. C. Major General Robert Ross. D. John A. Macdonald. The answer is B. Lord Durham, an English reformer sent to report on the rebellions. Question 32. What was one of Lord Durham's main recommendations? A. To make Canada an independent country. B. To join Canada with the United States. C. To abolish elections in Canada. D. To merge Upper and Lower Canada. The answer is D. Lord Durham recommended that Upper and Lower Canada be merged and given responsible government. Question 33. What does responsible government mean? A. Ministers must have the support of elected representatives. B. The governor alone makes all decisions. C. The military makes decisions. D. The king or queen has full control. The answer is A. Responsible government meant that the ministers of the Crown must have the support of a majority of the elected representatives in order to govern. Question 34. What controversial recommendation did Lord Durham make regarding Canadians? A. They should be given full independence. B. They should assimilate into English-speaking Protestant culture. C. They should establish their own government. D. They should be deported to France. The answer is B. Controversially, Lord Durham said that the quickest way for the Canadians to achieve progress was to assimilate into English-speaking Protestant culture. Question 35. In which year were Upper and Lower Canada united as the province of Canada? A. 1640. B. 1740. C. 1840. D. 1900. The answer is C. In 1840, Upper and Lower Canada were united as the province of Canada. Question 36. Which was the first British North American colony to achieve full responsible government? A. Upper Canada. B. Nova Scotia. C. Quebec. D. British Columbia. The answer is B. The first British North American colony to attain full responsible government was Nova Scotia. Question 37. When did Nova Scotia attain full responsible government? A. 1812–13. B. 1837–38. C. 1847–48. D. 1867–68. The answer is C. Nova Scotia attained full responsible government in 1847–48. Question 38. Who was the first leader of a responsible government in Canada? A. Sir John A. Macdonald. B. Robert Baldwin. C. Lord Elgin. D. Sir Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine. The answer is D. Sir Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine became the first head of a responsible government in Canada. Question 39. Which two new provinces were created from the old province of Canada? A. Alberta and British Columbia. B. Ontario and Quebec. C. Manitoba and Saskatchewan. D. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. The answer is B. The old province of Canada was split into two new provinces, Ontario and Quebec. Question 40. What was the name of the new country formed in 1867? A. The Republic of Canada. B. The British Colony of Canada. C. The Dominion of Canada. D. The United Provinces of Canada. The answer is C. The Dominion of Canada was officially born in 1867. Question 41. Which of the following was not one of the original four provinces of the Dominion of Canada? A. Ontario. B. Quebec. C. New Brunswick. D. British Columbia. The answer is D. The original four provinces of the Dominion of Canada are Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. Question 42. What act created the Dominion of Canada? A. The British North America Act. B. The Constitution Act. C. The Act of Union. D. The Independence Act. The answer is A. The British North America Act created the Dominion of Canada. Question 43. On what date was the Dominion of Canada officially born? A. July 1st, 1867. B. July 4th, 1867. C. June 30th, 1867. D. January 1st, 1867. The answer is A. The Dominion of Canada was officially born on July 1st, 1867. Question 44. Until what year was July 1st celebrated as Dominion Day? A. 1901. B. 1945. C. 1967. D. 1982. The answer is D. Until 1982, July 1st was celebrated as Dominion Day to commemorate the day that Canada became a self-governing dominion. Question 45. What is the modern name for Dominion Day? A. Confederation Day. B. National Unity Day. C. Canada Day. D. Founders Day. The answer is C. Today, Dominion Day is officially known as Canada Day. Question 46. Who suggested the term Dominion of Canada in 1864? A. Sir John A. Macdonald. B. Sir Leonard Tilley. C. Sir George Etienne Cartier. D. Lord Elgin. The answer is B. Sir Leonard Tilley, an elected official and father of Confederation from New Brunswick, suggested the term Dominion of Canada in 1864. Question 47. What inspired Sir Leonard Tilley to propose the name Dominion of Canada? A. A speech by Queen Victoria. B. A phrase from the British North America Act. C. A verse from the Bible, Psalm 72. D. A letter from the British Parliament. The answer is C. Sir Leonard Tilley was inspired by Psalm 72 in the Bible to propose the name Dominion of Canada. Question 48. What does Psalm 72 refer to that inspired the name Dominion of Canada? A. A land of peace and prosperity. B. A kingdom ruled by just laws. C. A home for all nations. D. Dominion from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. The answer is D. Sir Leonard Tilley was inspired by Psalm 72 in the Bible, which refers to dominion from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. Question 49. Which province was the last to join Canada? A. Newfoundland and Labrador. B. Prince Edward Island. C. Nova Scotia. D. British Columbia. The answer is A. In 1949, the last province to join Canada was Newfoundland and Labrador. Question 50. Who was Canada's first Prime Minister? A. Sir Wilfrid Laurier. B. Sir George Etienne Cartier. C. Sir John A. Macdonald. D. Pierre Trudeau. The answer is C. Sir John Alexander Macdonald was Canada's first Prime Minister. Question 51. When did Sir John A. Macdonald become Canada's first Prime Minister? A. 1815. B. 1867. C. 1871. D. 1905. The answer is B. In 1867, Sir John Alexander Macdonald, a father of Confederation, became Canada's first Prime Minister. Question 52. What is celebrated on January 11th in Canada? A. Dominion Day. B. Heritage Day. C. Confederation Day. D. Sir John A. Macdonald Day. The answer is D. Parliament has recognized January 11th as Sir John A. Macdonald Day. Question 53. Which Canadian banknote features Sir John A. Macdonald's portrait? A. $5 bill. B. $10 bill. C. $20 bill. D. $50 bill. The answer is B. Sir John A. Macdonald's portrait is on the $10 bill. Question 54. Which province did Sir George Etienne Cartier lead into Confederation? A. Ontario. B. Alberta. C. Quebec. D. Saskatchewan. The answer is C. Sir George Etienne Cartier led Quebec into Confederation. Thank you for watching this video. For more great quiz videos, subscribe to our channel. Quiz Genius.